Before this video starts, I kind of want to make an announcement. So I'm going to try to make a podcast soon. My wife, which gave me this ring, and a few people in my friend groups recently told me that my content would be better suited for a podcast when it comes to reflection zones and self-help. And I thought that maybe opening up my Discord server again and just allowing you guys to talk with me on the podcast would be cool for some of you, would be beneficial for a lot of people who might also be asking the same questions you are. So that's basically that. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Olyx. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new, glad to have you here anyways, as always. And in this video, I kind of want to talk about managing multiple projects, whether it is in freelance or just like in the real world, and how the two correlate. If you've been following me for quite a while now, you will know that I have multiple projects going on. I have my indie game that I'm developing. I have a lot of art that I do on the side, and I also have a lot of goals for 2026 and the years after that, which are closely knitted together in a way where I have a lot of things that I'm planning on doing, and I'm already taking steps into doing them. So whatever it is you are trying to make in your life, for me it feels like you always need something just a tiny bit bigger than yourself to start with, especially when there are goals which need to make you involved in first time situations, if you get what I'm saying. Being a freelance person and independent in what you're trying to do, not relying on what society thinks you should do, just following your heart, is something that is going to be very beneficial for you, especially at the beginning of 2026. It's gonna be a year about new beginnings, which new beginnings, abundance, and prosperity have been topics I've been talking about on the channel. A few videos here and there if you want to watch them. But managing multiple projects at the same time requires some kind of organization. I'm not saying you should do a planner, but if you feel called to do a planner, you should. For me, I'm very intuitive in my timing and in the ways I do things. I learn pretty quickly, which is a plus. I love learning, so this is really something that you should get into. Is basically learning about how to make your stuff happen for you. If you're trying to start a business, you might need, especially nowadays, to start having a broader presence on the internet, which one of the best ways nowadays to make money on the internet, if that is all you're after, is to create a personal brand and just be authentic in a way where the right people will follow you and the right people will choose you, and the knowledge you can give them is ultimately what is gonna make people follow you. There's been a big shift recently in content creation, I feel like, where a lot more people are drawn to spirituality and learning things on their own, and it's really beautiful because once you start managing multiple projects, you need to learn how to manage multiple projects, and you need to learn how to make these projects happen. But the steps needed to make a business and manage multiple projects at the same time might not only have to be with money. You might have a project to make your mental health better, and which is really good. It's a great project to have, especially if you're someone who sees potential in themselves but can't really find it in them to actually pursue their goals for multiple reasons, which everyone has their own reasons to do stuff and to limit themselves in some other stuff. And I want to make a few videos about what can stop people into creating what they want, if that makes sense. Because there's something really to be said about the self-confidence and the fact that no one will really care about what you do unless you start believing in yourself and you start showing up even on the days you don't feel like it. And yeah, it might be repetitive in few of my videos, but I can't stress enough the importance of having to show up for yourself when some stuff like this happen, especially multiple projects having to be done at the same time and juggling between all of them and your personal life is gonna take a lot of energy. You might be feeling some type of way where you feel your old life being gone and still lingering inside of your current life, but it's for me pretty much a symbolism of you reaching a new type of existence for yourself, where you might be just feeling so much potential brewing up inside of you and being driven by whatever, just to make your dream life happen, and getting rid of misplaced loyalty and loyalty which does not serve you is also gonna help you manage a lot more your projects in a way. I'm not saying to ditch all of your friends, because you shouldn't, you should always have some people which are there for you, which are always here to support you whatever you're going through in a way. And just being able to manage multiple projects at the same time is gonna bring you a lot of self-respect in a way, where you're gonna be like respecting yourself and respecting your work. But in order to be able to start things up and not be caught into like, oh, this doesn't work, the numbers don't match, whatever, like you might have some anticipations about the results you're gonna have. And I'm not saying that you should limit yourself, because expectations are just a catalyst for whatever you want to happen. And being able to turn this want into concrete actions and steps is gonna be different for everybody. You gotta learn what works for you, you gotta try stuff, and you gotta be yourself. You don't have to be afraid of being yourself, you don't have to be afraid of showing up in a certain way, because whatever, like, it's people that are gonna judge you because they might simply not understand you, or they're just dickheads who are too miserable in their own life. It's always these types of people which try to crush you down to pass their own inability to make stuff for themselves on you, so you feel the same way. And just being able to get rid of these people, or people that are not interested in doing the work. You can't really get along with everyone. You can try to play nice, but playing nice isn't gonna make you happy. It's just gonna make you people please, and people pleasing is not what you need to do if you're trying to manage multiple projects. You need to start and choose yourself first. As like cliche as it might sound, you gotta start learning to take the steps into just being yourself and choosing yourself for so many different reasons, which will be apparent to you once you succeed. It's trusting the process, but on a more direct note on making things happen. And it doesn't have to make sense, nothing really does make sense at the end of the day. We're just all people trying to do our best to survive. And once we get into a state of love and creation and wanting deeply to succeed, then you gotta remember not to take it into the ego too much, like detaching your ego from the results and still following your heart and what it tells you to do, despite whatever people are trying to get from you, or trying to need from you to do, despite like things not making sense for you always. And just you following your heart is gonna open up so many more doors. You're gonna find yourself in environments you didn't even thought you would be ever, and there's a lot of things that can come out of that. There's a lot of things that are positive that can come out of that, but you gotta also learn to protect yourself against what you don't need, and you gotta have enough discernment for these things to be visible to you when and where, But the main point I'm trying to make about managing multiple projects at the same time is, if it's driven by passion for what you're trying to make, it's gonna be a lot easier to manage. Because let's face it, if you work multiple jobs that you don't want to do and it doesn't excite you, there's no light coming from inside of you to make these stuff happen. They just happen on their own, and like you don't even have to think about it. If it has to happen or not. It's always the people which are the most uncertain who have the most potential, because like being uncertain about life is something that is very common amongst people. And more nowadays, it's just like if you have to manage multiple stuff at the same time, you gotta be okay with managing yourself first. Is really what I'm trying to get here. There's a lot more things that can be said about this, and I can go on and on for so many days, but just like following your heart, and despite whatever people think about your goals, how crazy they seem. Did you know that like Jim Carrey, the actor, made himself a check for $1 million, and then a few years later studios paid him that kind of money? He did this check when he was broke, and he manifested the success. And a lot of people think that manifestation is some kind of weird special thing, but literally it's so much more about getting what you truly deserve. And life is gonna make stuff happen for you to get into this kind of mindset where what you needed then is gonna come out more easily than it was before. And so for many reasons, but like just being able to get the right stuff and the right lessons from pain, because pain is a catalyst for something better to happen. People don't like being in pain, and some people do, but like more generally than not, pain is a reflection of hope for something better to happen, and it's a catalyst for so many things again. But just like not giving up and still showing up despite the pain being there, and especially with the pain being there, the pain, the stress, the anxiety, the want for more. You gotta be okay with what you have at the moment and still be grateful for what you have, because people take stuff for granted nowadays. As sad as it might seem, I feel like the internet has given so much people the feeling that they don't have enough or they're not enough, that like it's limiting them in whatever they're trying to make. That's why like I mostly don't watch other YouTubers. So that's why I don't really watch many YouTubers anymore. I just do my own stuff, my own projects, I do my own thing, and I'm the odd one out. And being the odd one out is truly something that is gonna bring you a lot of satisfaction, just because like if you try to do the same as everybody else, trying to be the version of yourself you see somewhere, it's not. You have to have this vision of yourself that is made by yourself, not influenced by others, in a way where doing your own thing is gonna bring you much more satisfaction again than if you try to compare what like numbers someone else is doing. And it might be a drive that is gonna make you burnt out, from your projects and managing them. So really, everyone is trying to do their own thing, and managing multiple projects is extremely hard, especially if you don't really know what you're doing. But it's okay, because you can still learn. You can learn in many ways. There are books, there are internet articles, there are like so many lessons that can come naturally in the real world, and correlating the real world aspect of things, the actions that you need to take to make your goals happen in this real world, just not in your head, is confusing for a lot of people. But confusing in a way where trying and just not seeing results is discouraging. And a lot of people are focusing a lot more on numbers, because it's a human thing to want numbers to go up, But the more you try to focus on your numbers at first, the more you're trying to deter yourself. Like you're detracting yourself from the right mindset you should have when it comes to creating, especially online. There are many things which are going to happen whenever you're close to a goal. And the closer you are to a goal, the more the hardest stuff are going to happen to you. I don't feel like stuff never happens for any reason. I feel like stuff happens because they're meant to be, you know? I feel like randomness is the closest thing to God in a way, and synchronicities and similarities and stuff being shared, moments being shared, and just events happening at a certain time are meant always for something better to come out of it. And yeah, there are some situations which are purely evil, but you kinda have to focus on yourself if you want to make this type of thing change. You should point fingers when it's safe to do so, and even when it's not safe to, but the smaller you are, the better you can try to find the right people, because like some people just start something with a persona they're trying to make, and then like big career shift. And just look at Joji. I mean, for a while he was Pink Guy, and then he became Joji, and now like it's being a meme recently that the Pink Guy is trying to come back out. But it's just like, the moment you start trying, and the moment you start putting your rawest creative expression into what you do, the more easily the attention is gonna be brought on you. And for many, the fear of being seen and the fear of success, as well as the fear of losing, is something that is paralyzing to a high degree. But I truly believe that even if you try to fight the paralysis and just like take a moment to assess your thoughts, like life is playing on automatic mode for so many people. They just don't take the time to reflect and just be able to be present in the moment, if that resonates with you. And just like breath work and grounding exercises are so good, because even if you try to make some steps into creating your goals, if they're not grounded into whatever would serve your highest potential and your best timeline, it's not gonna be as fulfilling as it would be if you were to start with a higher version of yourself as the person you're trying to be and embody. But the more you embody this higher version of yourself, it really shows you a lot of ways that you need to be in order for your goals to happen. This was really a ramble video, and some points are still open. Let me know what you thought about most of my points in the comments. I'm trying to have this content out pretty soon. I have a video about 2025 and all of the things that happened for me during that year, kind of a yearly recap that might be good for a lot of you, because I'm gonna share a ton of lessons that I've learned and still like my experience of this year, because it was truly a soul-crushing year, but it really was the year of change, you know. Last year I said that 2025 would be the year of change, and it really was. I'm trying not to have set intentions. I'm trying to keep a broad subject around the year, so that at the end of the year it's easier to be into the retrospective of I did this, and this, like contrary to I didn't follow this, and this, which were set intentions. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. I will see you next time. Like, subscribe, comment, and take care, be good, and I'll see you later.